Mob Psycho 100 is the story of what happens when the most unremarkable looking kid in the room is also one of the most powerful psychics alive. The world Mob lives in looks normal on the surface. There are schools, shopping streets, convenience stores, after-school clubs, and ordinary families eating dinner. But in this same world, spirits linger in places where human emotions have rotted into something heavy. And sometimes, people are born with psychic power strong enough to see those spirits and push back. Mob is one of those people. Actually, Mob is far beyond that. His psychic power is so vast that even he is afraid of it. He learned early that when his emotions surge, his power surges too, and the result can be terrifying. So Mob makes a choice that shapes everything about him. He tries not to feel too much. Not anger, not sadness, not embarrassment, not excitement. He bottles it down, keeps his face calm, and tells himself to be normal. That emotional pressure does not disappear. It builds. Inside Mob, it climbs like a gauge. And when it hits 100%, his power erupts. Mob's life outside school is tied to a small office in a plain building. A cheap sign on the door reads spirits and such consultation office. The owner is Reigen. Reigen is not a terrifying psychic warrior. He is a smooth, talking adult in a suit who knows exactly how to sound confident in front of a client. He can read people, he can argue, he can flatter, scold, and negotiate. And he has a gift for turning chaos into a performance that makes him look in control. Reigen also has a secret. He does not have psychic powers, not even a little. He is, in the strictest sense, a fraud. And yet, Reigen still deals with real spirits. Because he has Mob. Mob works for Reigen as an assistant. Reigen takes the calls, talks to the clients, and names a price. Mob does the actual exorcism. Sometimes Reigen even acts as if he is the one doing it, while Mob stands behind him quietly. Mob does not complain. He sees Reigen as his mentor. Reigen gives him advice about life, about confidence, about how to handle problems. Some of that advice is nonsense. Some of it is surprisingly sincere. And even when Reigen is lying to a client, his instructions to Mob often carry a message. Do not use power carelessly. Early on, Mob and Reigen are called to a tunnel where a gang leader named Boss says a ghost is haunting his group. Reigen walks in like a professional, acting fearless. Mob sees through the darkness easily. He finds the spirit, deals with it without drama, and returns with something more important than a victory. The ghost was tied to regret, and Mob's psychic power does not just destroy. It can purify. Mob helps the spirit pass on. When it is over, Mob asks Reigen why Reigen did nothing. Reigen answers as if it were obvious. He says he told Mob he was leaving the weak spirits to him. Reigen says it with total confidence, like it was his plan all along. Mob accepts it. Reigen's ability to turn his own helplessness into leadership becomes a pattern. At school, Mob tries to live quietly. He sits in class, keeps his head down, and rarely speaks unless spoken to. His brother Ritsu is the opposite. Ritsu Kageyama is smart, handsome, and popular. He is the kind of kid teachers praise and classmates follow. Ritsu is also protective of Mob, sometimes too protective. He worries about Mob being bullied or taken advantage of. And beneath that worry sits something Ritsu does not like to admit. He envies Mob, not Mob's social life, Mob's power. Mob's biggest wish is not to be the strongest psychic. His biggest wish is painfully simple. He wants to be liked. He wants to be normal. He wants to become the kind of person his childhood crush, Tsubomi Takin, might look at. Tsubomi has known Mob for years. She is confident, blunt, and hard to impress. Mob carries that crush like a quiet goal in the background of his life. He tells himself that psychic power will not make him attractive. He believes he needs real self-improvement. So Mob tries to improve in the most ordinary way possible. He considers joining a school club. One club tries to recruit him aggressively. It is the Telepathy Club. Their leader is Tome Kurata, a passionate girl who insists the club's purpose is to contact extraterrestrials through telepathy. In practice, the club mostly wastes time, plays games, and eats snacks. Still, Tome wants to keep the club alive, and Mob's psychic power would make their club look legitimate. Mob is not interested in contacting aliens, but he is curious about belonging. For a moment, it seems like he might join. Reigen hears about this and immediately gets involved. He calls Tome and argues with her over the phone. Reigen treats it like a client negotiation. He insists Mob's time has value. Tome pushes back. Mob stands there quietly while the adults and students tug at him in different directions. Around this time, Reigen and Mob are hired for another exorcism, this one at an all-girls school. To get inside, Reigen and Mob disguise themselves. Reigen commits fully to the act, but security catches him. Mob, separated from Reigen, ends up guided through the school by two students. They lead him to the source of the haunting. It is the ghost of a schoolboy. Mob confronts it and defeats it. Even here, the pattern holds. Reigen is the face and the talk. Mob is the power. The next day, Mob is still deciding whether to join the Telepathy Club. Then the student council threatens to take the Telepathy Club's room and give it to another group. That group is the Body Improvement Club. The Body Improvement Club is loud, muscular, and obsessed with training. They run, lift, sweat, and shout encouragement. They are everything Mob is not. Mob is drawn to them for a reason. They represent the path Mob wants. Not supernatural power, physical effort, personal growth. Mob joins the Body Improvement Club. It is a turning point, because the Body Improvement Club, despite looking like a stereotypical tough group, treats Mob with genuine kindness. They do not mock him. They do not exploit him. They cheer for him. They call him their friend. Mob begins to train even though he is weak. He runs until he collapses. He lifts until his arms shake. And he keeps coming back. But Mob's life is never allowed to stay purely ordinary. Because when you can see spirits, trouble comes to you. One day, while Mob is still fragile from training, he rests in the clubroom. The Telepathy Club shares the room now because they are losing space. Some of the Telepathy Club members look at Mob and casually say he will never be popular, even if he tries. To them, it is a joke. To Mob, who is trying desperately to change himself, it lands like a knife. That insult becomes the spark. Mob's emotions begin to rise. His meter climbs, On his way home, Mob is approached by a strange woman wearing a smiling mask. She promises to make him popular. Mob follows because part of him wants to believe there is an easy answer. She leads him underground to a secret gathering. It is a cult disguised as a self-help movement, promising happiness and popularity. They call themselves the LOL cult. The leader is a man who can force people to laugh and smile. And behind that leader is something far worse. The cult leader is being used by an evil spirit named Dimple. Dimple is not a tragic ghost trapped by regret. Dimple is a malicious spirit who enjoys controlling people. He wants followers. He wants worship. He wants to build a new religion with himself at the top. Mob is brought before Dimple. The cult members try to brainwash Mob, but Mob's psychic power is so strong that the control does not take. Mob refuses to smile on command. He refuses to join. Dimple reveals his true form, a floating, grinning, grotesque spirit face. He becomes furious that Mob will not submit. He tries to kill Mob. This is where the emotional meter matters. Mob is not furious because he wants revenge. He is pushed into emotional overload by the pressure of being mocked, manipulated, and threatened. The percentage rises. It reaches 100. Mob's psychic power explodes outward. The underground space is ripped apart by invisible force. Mob's aura crushes Dimple's presence, and in that instant, Mob exorcises Dimple and breaks the brainwashing. The cult members return to themselves, confused and freed. Mob survives, but what matters is what Mob does not do. He does not slaughter the people who tried to control him. He does not become a tyrant. He simply ends it. Dimple, however, does not fully vanish. He lingers. Later, when Mob is alone, Dimple appears again, weaker, and claims he has reformed. He says he will follow Mob now. He is still smug and still selfish, but he has learned a brutal lesson. Mob is not someone he can control. Mob does not trust Dimple, but Mob is not cruel. He allows Dimple to stay nearby, and Dimple becomes a strange shadow companion, sometimes helpful, sometimes annoying, always watching. Mob's days continue. School, training, part-time exorcisms, trying to be better. Then the city introduces a new kind of problem. Not spirits, not cults, other people with psychic power. The first sign comes from a conflict that looks ordinary on the surface. A turf war. 2 middle school delinquent groups collide. The kind of embarrassing teenage violence that feels huge to the kids involved and meaningless to adults. Mob's school is Salt Middle School. Their rivals are delinquents from Black Vinegar Middle School. The leaders posture, shout, and threaten each other. It is the kind of thing Mob wants nothing to do with. But the Black Vinegar group has a trump card. They summon their leader, a boy who does not look like a violent thug at all. He looks neat, confident, and strangely calm. His name is Teruki Hanazawa. Most people call him Teru. Teru is an Esper, a powerful psychic, and unlike Mob, Teru loves that fact. Teru walks into the conflict and ends it in seconds. He uses psychic power to crush the salt delinquents without even touching them. To him, it is effortless. To everyone else, it is terrifying. The salt delinquent leader, Tenga Onigawara, is humiliated. He wants revenge. He looks for muscle. He tries to recruit the Body Improvement Club. The Body Improvement Club refuses. They are not delinquents. They are athletes. They are serious about training, and they do not want to waste time fighting over pride. So Onigawara changes tactics. He decides if he cannot recruit the Body Improvement Club willingly, he will force them. He arranges for Mob to be kidnapped. Mob is taken and held. It is a ridiculous situation, and yet it becomes deadly because Taro is involved. Mob could escape instantly with psychic power. He could tear the building apart. He could erase the delinquents from the ground. But Mob refuses. This is one of the most important choices Mob makes early in the story. Mob does not want to solve every problem with power. He wants to solve things like a normal person. He wants to avoid hurting others. He wants to avoid losing control. Dimple follows Mob during this incident, watching closely. Dimple tries to push Mob toward using power. Mob stays calm. The Body Improvement Club realizes Mob has been taken, and without hesitation, they charge in to rescue him. They fight through the delinquents with nothing but their bodies and their determination. They are outnumbered. They are hit. They keep moving. Then Taro appears. The Body Improvement Club tries to protect Mob. Taro defeats them easily with psychic force. He slams them down, restrains them, and laughs at how weak they are. To Taro, physical strength without psychic talent is pathetic. Mob watches his friends get crushed. His emotions rise, not into rage yet, but upward. Taro turns to Mob. He says he can tell Mob is in a spur too, and he has a philosophy. He believes psychic power makes someone naturally superior. He believes the world should be ruled by those who are gifted. He believes kindness, effort, and discipline are just stories weak people tell themselves. Mob does not agree, but Mob also does not fight back immediately. Taro attacks him. Mob defends without striking. He blocks with barriers, absorbs hits, and tries to end the conflict without destroying Taro. This enrages Taro. He cannot stand that Mob refuses to acknowledge him as the stronger one. He cannot stand that Mob, who clearly has immense power, is not showing off. Taro escalates. He begins to use his power more cruelly. He throws Mob into the ground. He smashes him into walls. He tries to break him. Dimple, still weak, tries to intervene. At one point, Dimple asks Taro to call it a draw. Dimple says Mob does not want to fight and will only get hurt if this continues. Taro refuses. Taro is obsessed with domination. Dimple uses the remainder of his energy and reveals his usual spirit form again, trying to threaten Taro. Taro erases him effortlessly. Dimple is wiped away. Mob feels it. Even though Dimple is obnoxious and selfish, he has been following Mob. Mob remembers the time he spent with Dimple. Mob decides he is okay with it. He accepts Dimple is gone, but Taro keeps going. Mob's emotional pressure climbs, not because he wants to win, because he is being forced, because he is being hurt, because he is watching people he cares about be treated like garbage, because Taro represents everything Mob fears about power. The percentage rises. When Mob finally reaches 100%, the fight changes instantly. Mob's aura erupts. Taro's control shatters. The surrounding environment under Mob's psychic force. Mob tears through Teru's attacks like they are nothing. He does not scream. He does not boast. He simply overwhelms. Teru is horrified, not just because Mob is stronger, because Mob is stronger and does not care. Mob is not intoxicated by power. Mob does not enjoy humiliating others. Mob is simply ending the threat. Mob defeats Teru. Teru's image of himself crumbles. He loses his confidence. He loses his hair in the chaos of the battle. His pride is stripped away. When it is over, Mob does not finish Teru off. Mob does not kill him. Mob leaves him with a lesson. Mob tells Teru something that hits harder than any psychic blow. Having psychic power does not make you special. It is just one trait. You can be gifted and still be a terrible person. You can be powerless and still be admirable. Mob walks away. The Body Improvement Club is shaken but alive. They still treat Mob as their friend. They do not fear him. They thank him. They support him. Teru is left alone, humiliated and forced to reconsider his worldview. And Mob returns to his daily routine. School, training, work at spirits, and such. But now, Mob has crossed a line. He has fought another Esper. He has shown a glimpse of his real power. And somewhere beyond the schoolyard drama, larger forces begin to notice. Because Teru is not the only psychic in the city, and Mob's strength is not going to stay hidden forever. After the fight with Teru, life at Salt Middle School feels different. Mob goes back to class like nothing happened, but people talk. Rumors spread through the town about a boy with psychic power who defeated Teruki Hanazawa. To Mob, attention is the opposite of what he wants. To Ritsu, the attention lands like a spark on dry grass. Ritsu has lived his whole life being the talented brother in the normal way. He gets good grades. He earns praise. He fits in. But Mob has something Ritsu cannot reach. Psychic power. Ritsu has told himself for years that he is fine without it. That Mob's power is a burden. That it is better to be ordinary. Now the town is whispering about Mob, and Ritsu cannot ignore what he feels. He is proud of Mob. He is scared for Mob. And deep down, he is frustrated that he has been left behind. At the same time, Mob is pulled into more everyday trouble. The telepathy club leader Tome becomes even more interested in him. After hearing about the fight, she starts hunting for proof that Mob is a powerful Esper. Mob keeps dodging her because he does not want to be paraded around. Then the student council president, Shinji Kamuro, starts causing problems. Kamuro is the kind of person who thinks rules exist only as weapons. He likes control. He likes humiliating people. He targets Onigawara, the former delinquent leader, and sets up a scheme to frame him for theft and perversion. Ritsu gets pulled into this scheme, not because he likes Kamuro, but because Ritsu has grown used to navigating school politics. He thinks he can handle it. On top of all this, Ritsu visits a facility called the Awakening Lab. It is a place that studies psychic ability. Ritsu goes in hopping to see something that makes sense of his feelings. If power is real, if it can be measured and trained, maybe he can understand why Mob has it, and he does not. Inside the lab, Ritsu sees people with small abilities. Nothing like Mob. Spoons bending, tiny demonstrations, little sparks. It It is disappointing, and yet the visit leaves a mark, because when Ritsu returns to his normal life, something strange happens. Without realizing it, he bends a spoon with his mind. At first, he thinks it is an accident. Then it happens again. Then he begins to see things. He sees the lingering presence of spirits. And one night, outside his home, he sees a familiar face. It is Dimple, the same smug spirit mob, exorcised in the underground cult. Dimple appears to Ritsu and confirms what Ritsu is afraid to hope. Ritsu has psychic power. It was dormant, but now it has awakened. This changes Ritsu completely. Not all at once, but like a slow fever. He starts to practice. Dimple guides him, partly because Dimple wants influence, and partly because Dimple enjoys causing trouble. Ritsu learns quickly. Every time he uses his power, he feels less like the younger brother who needs protection. He feels special, and that feeling is addictive. Around the same time, a rumor spreads through the city. People whisper about something called white tea poison. They say it gives people psychic power. Delinquents chase the rumor like it is a street legend. Some want it for status. Some want it for revenge. Some want it because they are terrified of being powerless. Ritsu becomes more confident and more reckless. He watches Kamuro manipulate people, and now he has the means to strike back. He uses his power to punish Kamuro, turning the tables in a way Kamuro never expects. Ritsu does not just expose him. He humiliates him. He makes Kamuro feel small. In that moment, Ritsu feels the thrill of control. Mob, meanwhile, continues to work with Reigen. They get targeted by con artists who try to frame Mob for breaking a valuable vase. They want money. They want an easy victim. Reigen steps in like he always does. He talks circles around them. He corners them with logic. He forces them into admitting their scam. Mob watches with quiet respect. Reigen is powerless in the psychic sense, but he wins battles with words. This is why Mob keeps trusting him. But Ritsu is moving faster and faster toward danger. He decides he wants to test himself against the one Esper he knows is strong. Teru. Dimple warns him not to. Dimple has seen what Mob did. Dimple knows Teru is dangerous, but Ritsu is too excited. He thinks he needs this to prove something. He challenges Teru and is overwhelmed. Teru is still skilled, still refined, still ruthless when pushed. Ritsu escapes, furious, ashamed, and burning with frustration. Later, Ritsu runs into a group of thugs and subdues them effortlessly. He feels powerful again. Then Mob arrives and sees what his brother is doing. Mob is not angry. He is happy. He is thrilled that Ritsu has awakened power. Mob has always believed Ritsu is better than him, smarter, more capable. So when Mob sees Ritsu finally sharing the same strange world of Espers and spirits, Mob smiles. It is one of the rare times his face truly softens. But Ritsu does not react the way Mob expects. Ritsu is overwhelmed by mixed emotions. He has spent so long resenting Mob's power, and now that he has power too, he does not know where to place that resentment. He lashes out. He tries to sever their bond. He tells Mob they are no longer close. He tries to act independent. Mob's answer is shocking. Instead of fighting, Mob bows. Mob apologizes to the thugs Ritsu attacked. Mob Mob humiliates himself in public to defuse the situation. He does it because Mob cares more about ending conflict than about pride. And he does it because Mob is terrified of what happens when psychic power is used casually against people. Before the brothers can resolve anything, danger crashes into the scene. A man with psychic power attacks them. His name is Koyama. He is part of an organization. He mistakes Ritsu for his target. He was supposed to capture the strongest Esper, Mob, but he sees Ritsu's power, assumes Ritsu is the one, and strikes. Ritsu is hurt. Mob's emotions surge. The meter rockets upward. This is close to 100% rage. Koyama senses the danger and does not let Mob reach full release. He uses a special spray, something like a cursed chemical tool, to knock Mob unconscious. With Mob down, Koyama kidnaps Ritsu. At the same time, another agent named Yusuke Sakurai raids the Awakening Lab and kidnaps the children there. These children have been used as test subjects. Their psychic abilities are small, but they are still vulnerable. Now they are taken by force. Teru and Dimple find Mob unconscious. Teru takes him to safety. Dimple, shaken by how serious this is, explains what he knows. The kidnappers are part of a criminal Esper organization called Claw. Claw recruits psychics. Claw controls psychics. Claw uses psychics. And Claw is willing to kidnap children to build power. Mob wakes up. The first thing he wants is to save his brother. Mob and Teru track the kidnappers. They capture an agent named Terada, who tries to cover up the failure of Koyama and Sakurai. Terada talks like a loyal soldier. He believes in Claw's hierarchy. He believes weak people should serve strong people. Mob and Teru force him to reveal the location of Claw's 7th Division base. Inside that base, Ritsu is thrown into a nightmare. The kidnapped Awakening Lab children are held there too. They are terrified. They are treated like tools, and they are introduced to the elite enforcers of this division. These enforcers are called the Scars. They are powerful Espers with specialized abilities. One of them, Muto, uses hypnotism. He terrifies the children by making it look like one child has been killed. It is an illusion, but to the children, it feels real. The point is to break them, to show them that Claw can crush them whenever it wants. Mob and Teru infiltrate the base. Mob defeats Koyama easily when they meet again. Koyama realizes, too late, that he grabbed the wrong brother. Mob's presence forces the 7th Division to respond with full force. The Scars deploy, while the children attempt to escape. Battles erupt throughout the facility. Dimple, possessing a Claw underling, interferes and helps the escaping kids. Teru faces an Esper named Miyagawa and tricks him into defeating himself with his own power. But then Teru is overwhelmed by Muto and Sakurai. Mob moves through enemy after enemy. An Esper named Mukai attacks him with dolls. Mob breaks through the assault. Another Esper, Tsuchiya, insists Mob not hold back just because she is a woman, forcing Mob into an uncomfortable moment where he has to treat her as a real threat. Mob defeats her. He defeats Takeuchi. He keeps moving. During the chaos, the children run into a mysterious boy. His name is Shu. He is calm and sharp. He helps them, but he does not stay with them. there is something secretive about him, as if he is observing more than participating. Ritsu chooses to stay behind to protect the escape. He does it out of pride and out of genuine care. He wants to prove he is not helpless, but he is caught and beaten. Mob finds him unconscious, bruised, broken. The sight of Ritsu like this detonates something inside Mob. Not pure rage, not sadness, not panic. It becomes something colder, a refusal. Mob enters a state called 100% rejection. In this state, Mob does not lash out with wild emotion. He rejects. He refuses to allow the enemy's psychological games to work. When Muto tries to break Ritsu's mind, Mob's rejection shatters Muto instead. Muto's mind collapses under the pressure. Mob and Muto both fall unconscious. Elsewhere, Dimple tries to deceive another Scar member named Matsuo. It fails. Dimple is captured. The situation is spiraling. Mob's phone is still with him, and Reigen, the man who claims to be the greatest psychic of the 21st century, uses the simplest method imaginable. He tracks Mob's phone, and he walks straight into the enemy base. At the entrance, claw guards stop him. Reigen does not flinch. He speaks like a boss. He demands to be let in. The guards misunderstand. They think Reigen is the leader of Claw. Reigen does not correct them. He accepts their mistake like it was meant to happen. He marches inside with absolute confidence. Reigen uses this confusion to do something Mob could never do with brute force. He talks. He persuades. He shames people. He convinces low-level Claw members that this organization is ruining their lives. He tells them they are wasting their youth. He tells them they can quit. He tells them they can be normal and still be worth something. And some of them listen. They leave. They walk out of the base. Reigen finds Mob, Teru, and Ritsu trapped in a room designed to suppress psychic power. It is a cursed space that seals their abilities. They cannot break out by force, but Reigen can open the door because he is not relying on psychic power. He frees them. The escape route is blocked by the 7th Division leader, Ishiguro, and the remaining Scars. Sakurai is there. Muraki is there. Matsuo is there. These are the high-level threats. Mob is exhausted. He has already broken his own rule. He has already used his power against people in order to save Ritsu. Mob feels guilt so heavy it becomes dangerous. His emotions begin to tilt toward something terrifying. Reigen notices. Reigen does not tell Mob to fight harder. Reigen tells Mob to run. He tells Mob that saving himself matters more than winning. He tells Mob that guilt is not a reason to destroy yourself. For a moment, Mob wavers. His emotional meter climbs toward murderous intent. This is the kind of state that could lead Mob to do something he can never take back. Reigen steps in front of him and talks him down. He speaks calmly. He speaks like an adult. He speaks like someone who cares. And as Reigen speaks, we see a flashback. We see how Mob first met Reigen. A younger Mob came to Reigen because he was scared of his own power. Mob wanted someone to teach him control. Reigen, seeing the chance to have a powerful assistant, accepted. But the flashback also shows something real. Reigen told Mob that psychic power does not make him special, that it is just one part of him, that that Mob should not rely on it. Those words shaped Mob. Back in the present, just as it seems like Mob might escape without exploding, Sakurai attacks. He strikes Reigen from behind. Reigen goes down. Mob sees his mentor fall. And that is the trigger. Mob hits 100%. The air changes. The facility trembles. Mob's psychic power floods outward. The scars realize they have crossed a line. What happens next is both terrifying and strangely beautiful, because Mob's power does not just destroy, it can also transfer. Mob, in his shock and gratitude, pours power into Reigen. Reigen stands back up, and suddenly, the fraud becomes unstoppable. Reigen's body becomes impervious to psychic attacks. He walks through their powers like they are rain. He overwhelms Ishiguro. He dominates the scars. He moves with the confidence he always pretended to have, but now backed by Mob's energy. This state is known as 1000% gratitude. It is not Reigen's power. It is Mob's subconscious gift, a manifestation of how much Mob trusts him. Reigen uses this moment not just to fight, but to speak. He rebukes the scars. He tells them their superiority complex is pathetic. He tells them that being an Esper does not make them above anyone. He tells them they are still human. His words hit. Sakurai, who has always seemed more conflicted than the others, listens. Muraki listens. Some of them hesitate. Ishiguro refuses. He insists Espers should rule. He tries to destroy the entire facility, rather than accept defeat. Mob, still present, counters him with a truth that cuts through Ishiguro's ideology. Psychic power does not equal popularity. Psychic power does not guarantee happiness. Psychic power does not make you loved. Ishiguro rages. He tries to collapse everything. Then the mysterious boy from earlier appears again. Shu. He defeats Ishiguro with ease. He reveals a crucial fact. He was sent by his father, and his father is the leader of Claw. Shu does not stay. He leaves quickly, like someone who has done what he came to do and wants no further attachment. But the message is clear. Claw is bigger than this division. Claw has a leader watching from above, and that leader is powerful. In the aftermath, Dimple escapes and subdues Matsuo. The kidnapped children are freed. Mob, Ritsu, Teru, and Reigen return to their normal lives. But normal has changed. Mob has faced organized evil. Ritsu has tasted power and paid for it. Teru has become an ally. Reigen has shown that even without psychic ability, he can influence and save people. Life moves forward. School continues. Training continues. Work continues. Later, there is a calmer moment that feels almost like a reward after the chaos. Reigen drags Mob into a search for a mythical creature called a Tsuchinoko. Reigen wants proof. Fame, maybe money. Mob goes along. They wander outdoors. Reigen collects mushrooms. Mob deals with a spirit that people mistake for the creature. Reigen insists that Tsuchinoko does not exist. The moment is silly and peaceful, but underneath that calm, the story has shifted, because now we know. Claw exists. Claw has a leader, and Mob's power has been revealed. A new season begins with a different kind of tension. Not just enemies. Consequences. Mob is still training with the Body Improvement Club. He is still working for Reigen. But now Mob's world is expanding. More people notice him. More people see what he is. And Mob, despite all his power, is still painfully sensitive. Reigen takes a job on a farm. There is an alleged haunting, something affecting crops. Mob solves it in his own unique way. He uses psychic power to control the plants, calming them, moving them, handling the problem without the usual dramatic exorcism. It is an early signal that Mob's power is flexible. He is not just a weapon. He is a toolmaker. Back at school, the disgraced student council president Camuro has resigned after his earlier downfall. Mob is convinced to run for student council. To Mob, it sounds like a step toward being normal and being noticed in a positive way. So he tries. Mob stands in front of the school to give a speech. His body stiffens. His mind goes blank. He freezes. The speech collapses. Mob fails spectacularly. It is humiliating. Then another teenage drama arrives. A girl named Emmy confesses to Mob. Mob is stunned. He thinks for a moment that something is changing, that he might be getting closer to being liked. But Emmy reveals the truth. She only asked him out on a dare. Her friends pushed her to do it. It was a joke. Mob is hurt, but he does not explode. He does not lash out. He absorbs it. Later, Emmy's friends mock her, and they destroy her novel. Emmy is an aspiring writer. Her novel means something to her. In the cruelty of teenage social games, they rip it apart. Mob sees this and steps in. He uses his psychic power gently. He reassembles the book. He restores it. Then he does something unexpected. Mob tells Emmy the truth. He admits he is an Asper. Tsubomi witnesses this. The girl Mob has liked for years sees him act with quiet strength. And in that moment, she looks impressed. Not because Mob showed off, because Mob used his power to protect something meaningful. Emmy is shaken too. She turns her experience into inspiration. She begins writing a story about a psychic middle schooler. In a strange way, Mob's honesty gives her a new direction. After this, Reigen's business expands. Reigen decides to establish a website for spirits and such. A simple, modern move. And it works. Clients flood in. Reigen becomes busier. Mob becomes busier. More jobs means more exposure to human darkness. One request is especially disturbing. A client asks Reigen to curse someone, to harm them. Reigen refuses, at least officially, but he still tries to placate the client with a fake charm. Mob hears the request and feels unsettled. Mob does not like the idea that people want supernatural harm. Mob wonders how easily his own power could be used that way. Another job brings them to a woman's apartment. She thinks she is being haunted, but the truth is uglier and more human. A neighbor is using out-of-body experiences to spy on her. Mob discovers it. The man is arrested. Mob watches the woman shift from fear to disgust, and he realizes something. Not every horror is a spirit. Sometimes humans are worse. Then some college students hire Reigen and Mob. They want protection during a spirit photo shoot. They treat it like a thrill. They refuse to pay. Reigen and Mob leave. The students return in panic. They captured a real spirit in their photos. Now they are terrified. They promise to pay. Mob goes to the site. He finds 3 spirits. They are the spirits of a deceased family. They are not raging. They are not evil. They simply want to remain together. They want peace. Mob does not want to exorcise them. He sees them as people. He sees them as a family. The students demand exorcism. They do not care about the spirit's feelings. They just want the fear removed. Dimple tries to provoke the family spirits into turning evil, but the spirits refuse. They remain gentle. Mob becomes distressed. He is confronted by a world where humans can be selfish and cruel, and where spirits can be peaceful and kind. Mob's simple categories break down. Reigen notices. Reigen realizes Mob's worldview is being strained by job after job. So Reigen does something that, in another story, might be considered cowardly. He performs a fake exorcism. He lies to the clients. He tells them the spirits are gone. He gets them to leave. Then, alone with Mob, Reigen consoles him. Reigen tells Mob it is okay to be confused. He treats Mob's empathy seriously. Mob begins to wonder about a terrifying question. If he ever chose to curse someone, if he ever chose to harm, could anyone stop him? That question lingers. Next comes an exorcism job that shifts the story into a darker territory. A wealthy man named Masashi Asajiri hires Reigen and Mob. His daughter, Minori Asajiri, is possessed. She has been confined. She is restrained because she is dangerous. Her father is desperate. When Reigen and Mob arrive, they find competition. Other psychics have come. One is Banshimaru, the flashy rival who likes to show off. Another is Kirin Jodo of the Sun Psychic Union. There are several adults who claim ability. They argue over who will handle the case. Reigen wins the right to see Minori first through a simple game. Rock, paper, scissors. It is ridiculous that something so childish decides such a serious matter. But that is part of the world Reigen lives in. He turns anything into an advantage. Reigen and Mob meet Minori. At first, she appears normal. Some of the other psychics suspect abuse. They suspect her father is cruel. Reigen, however, notices something off. Minori's speech is inconsistent. Her expression shifts in strange ways. Reigen provokes the presence inside her. The spirit reveals itself. It is Keiji Megami. Dimple recognizes the name. Megami was a powerful psychic in life. Now he is an evil spirit, a monster. The other psychics try to exorcise Megami and fail. They throw techniques. They chant. They display talent. Megami crushes them. Mob feels the pressure. He senses that Megami is not like anything he has faced. Dimple warns him. Dimple says this spirit is beyond danger. Mob ignores the warning. He chooses to enter Minori's mind. He performs an out-of-body experience. His spirit leaves his body. His physical form remains behind. Dimple takes control of Mob's body to keep it safe. Inside Minori's mental world, Mob is immediately confronted by Megami's absolute control. Megami strips Mob of his powers. Mob tries to fight. Megami defeats him easily. Megami explains something important. Psychic abilities are driven by emotion, and negative emotions are more potent. Fear, hatred, despair, those are fuel. Then Megami reshapes the mental world. He reconstructs reality into a twisted version of Mob's life. In this world, Mob has no psychic power. He has no friends. He has no family. Mob is placed into a nightmare that feels real. He is forced to endure daily life without any of the anchors that make his real life bearable. In this false reality, Minori transfers into Mob's class. She becomes one of the people who orchestrate bullying. Mob is mocked. Mob is isolated. Mob is treated like trash. Time in the real world passes slowly, only about 30 minutes. But in Megami's mental world, Mob experiences 6 months. 6 months of being powerless. 6 months of being alone. 6 months of suffering. Megami wants something specific. He wants Mob to break. He wants Mob to become like him. He wants Mob to embrace hatred and despair. If Mob does, Megami believes Mob's power will become truly monstrous. Mob reaches low points. He tries to endure, but he is human. One moment becomes especially painful. A stray cat is tormented. Mob tries to save it. He fails. The helplessness cracks him. Mob begins to fight back, not with psychic power. He cannot. With his body, with his will. Outside in the real world, the other psychics flee. Dimple helps them escape. Dimple then enters Minori's mind to help Mob. Dimple restores Mob's memories. Dimple reminds him of his real life, his real friends, his real family, his real struggles and victories. Mob's emotions surge, not toward hatred, toward courage. Mob reaches 100% courage. He fights back against the spirits Megami sends, because Megami reveals another horror. The inhabitants of this mental world are spirits he absorbed. They are not illusions. They are trapped souls. Megami unleashes them. Mob defeats them. But when they are released, their collective overwhelms him. Their pain and fear flood into him. Mob's meter rises beyond ordinary states. He reaches a terrifying threshold. Question marks. A state that is not labeled by a simple emotion. Mob reaches percent. The mental world collapses under the force. Megami is obliterated within his constructed realm. Mob awakens in his own body. He watches Megami depart. But the danger is not over. Matsuo captures Mob. Minori wakes too. She is crying. She apologizes. Her possession is gone. And now she faces what she has done. Mob forgives her. He does it because Mob has learned something in the nightmare. People can change. And Mob's own life, the real one, is better than he ever fully appreciated. The friends he thought were ordinary are precious. The family he thought was complicated is real. Even Reigen, with all his lies, has been an anchor. Mob leaves that mansion not triumphant, but transformed. He has stared directly into despair and chosen not to become it. After the Megami incident, Mob is not the same kid who quietly followed Reigen into haunted tunnels. He is still gentle. He is still awkward. He still trains with the Body Improvement Club and blushes when Tsubomi is nearby. But inside him, something has shifted. Mob has learned that his emotions are not an enemy. They are part of him. And the real danger is not feeling too much. The real danger is refusing to understand what he feels until it explodes. Reigen's business continues to grow. The website brings more clients. Some are serious. Some are ridiculous. Reigen handles all of them with the same confident voice. But growth brings a new kind of pressure. Reigen is working harder to maintain his image. He begins taking jobs without Mob, not because Mob is unnecessary, but because Reigen wants to prove he can stand alone. He wants to be more than a man, hiding behind a child. At the same time, Mob starts taking steps toward his own independence. He has friends now. The Body Improvement Club treats him like family. Teru has become something close to an ally, even if they do not hang out like normal friends. Ritsu is healing after his kidnapping, trying to understand how power can distort him. Tome and the Telepathy Club remain chaotic, but strangely sincere. Mob is slowly building a life that exists beyond Reigen. This is when the story hits one of its most human turning points. Not a huge psychic battle, a scandal. People from Reigen's past begin to reappear. Former clients who feel cheated, people who want revenge. Some of them post online, accusing him of being a fraud. At first, Reigen tries to laugh it off. He tells himself he can talk his way out. But the accusations grow. A tabloid-like wave spreads. Suddenly, Reigen's name is being dragged through social media. A famous TV psychic personality, someone with an established brand, targets him. That psychic personality brings Reigen on air and tries to humiliate him. They want to expose him. They want the spectacle. Reigen walks into the situation with his usual confidence. But the pressure is different this time, because this time the enemy is not a spirit. It is public opinion. It is humiliation. It is the collapse of the identity Reigen has built. Mob watches Reigen's struggle. Mob senses the truth behind Reigen's performance. Mob has always known, at least unconsciously, that Reigen is not a real psychic. He has seen too many moments where Reigen's techniques are just words. But Mob has also believed something else. He has believed that Reigen, despite the lies, has a good heart. As the scandal grows, Mob becomes uncertain. Reigen has always been the one telling Mob not to rely on psychic power. But what if Reigen's entire role in Mob's life is built on deception? What if Mob has been fooled? Reigen, under immense stress, begins to unravel. He stops sleeping well. He becomes paranoid. He lashes out at small things. He begins to isolate himself. Then comes the moment that breaks their routine. Mob comes to the office, ready to work. Reigen looks at Mob and realizes something painful. Mob is the reason Reigen has been able to pretend. Mob is the proof of Reigen's supposed power. Mob is the foundation of his reputation. And Reigen cannot bear that truth, not because he hates Mob, because he feels ashamed. In a burst of fear and pride, Reigen tells Mob to stop coming. He tells Mob he is no longer needed. He speaks harshly, pretending it is professional. But underneath, it is a desperate attempt to protect himself from guilt. Mob leaves. He does not argue. He does not cry. He simply walks away. For Mob, this feels like the ground has shifted. He has depended on Reigen for guidance. Now he is cut loose. Mob returns to school life and tries to act normal. He trains. He studies. He talks with his friends. But he is unsettled. Meanwhile, Reigen hits rock bottom. The scandal ruins his business. People mock him. He is chased by reporters. He goes to a bar and drinks alone. For the first time, Reigen is forced to sit with himself without the performance, without clients, without mob, without an audience. And in that loneliness, he faces a brutal truth. He has been using mob, even if he cared, even if he tried to teach mob good values. He has still benefited from mob's power while claiming the credit. Reigen starts to crack. But this is also when Reigen does something courageous. He goes to mob, not to hire him back, not to manipulate him, to tell him the truth. Reigen finds mob and admits everything. He admits he has no psychic power. He admits he has been lying. He admits he is weak. He expects mob to hate him. He expects mob to be devastated. Mob listens. He is quiet. Then mob says something that reframes their entire relationship. Mob says he has always known, or at least he has always felt it. Mob says that Reigen's lack of power does not change what matters. Reigen gave mob advice. Reigen helped mob control himself. Reigen treated mob like a person instead of a weapon. Mob tells Reigen that Reigen is a good person. It is not blind worship. It is not naive. It is mob choosing to see the full human, flaws and all. That moment is one of the most important in the series because it shows the real theme. Power is not the measure of worth. Honesty, responsibility, and care are. Reigen is shaken. He cries, and he begins to rebuild himself, not as a fake psychic, as a man who can still help people, even without supernatural power. But the world does not let them rest, because Claw has not disappeared. The 7th Division was only one part. Now the true leadership moves. A new threat rises in the city. People with psychic power begin committing crimes more openly. There is talk of an operation, something bigger. This is the Claw World Domination arc, and it feels like the culmination of everything built so far. Claw's higher-level fighters, a group of elite espers known as the Ultimate Five, begin acting. These are not teenagers with ego problems. These are trained, dangerous people. At the same time, mob's friends are pulled into chaos. Ritsu is targeted. Teru is targeted. Even ordinary people become collateral. Reigen, despite the recent confession, cannot ignore the danger. He tries to intervene as an adult, talking first. But Claw's plan is too violent. Mob also cannot ignore it. Mob may want a normal life, but he cannot watch people be harmed. Claw's leader finally steps onto the stage. His name is Toakiro Suzuki. He is the founder of Claw. He is a man with overwhelming psychic power and an ideology built on superiority. He believes psychics should rule the world. He believes the powerless should submit. Toakiro is also Shu's father, and Shu, the boy who appeared during the 7th Division incident, has his own complicated relationship with that truth. Shu does not worship his father. He fears him. He also opposes him. Shu has been trapped in Claw's world since childhood, raised inside the ideology, but never fully believing. Now Shu is ready to resist. Claw's base becomes the center of the storm. Mob and his allies infiltrate. Fights explode across corridors and chambers. Teru returns, stronger than before. He faces opponents who once would have crushed him. Ritsu uses his abilities with more control, determined not to be intoxicated again. And in the middle of this, something beautiful happens. The Body Improvement Club, ordinary teenage athletes with no psychic powers at all, charges into danger. They do it because their friend is there. They do it because they believe courage matters more than ability. They get hurt. They keep going. This is a repeated lesson. Mob is not alone. He has built a network of people who value him for who he is. As battles intensify, Mob confronts Tohikiro. Tohikiro is not like Teru. He does not posture. He does not need to prove himself. He is calm, absolute, and confident because he has spent decades building power. Tohikiro offers Mob a place in Claw. He praises Mob. He says Mob's potential is enormous. He says Mob could become a king. Mob refuses, not with drama, with simple conviction. Mob says he does not want that life. Mob says he does not want to rule. Tohikiro attacks. The battle between them is one of the largest in the series. Psychic force clashes like natural disaster. Walls rip apart. The air bends. Mob tries to restrain himself, but Tohikiro's power is crushing. Tohikiro has a technique. He stores his psychic energy inside himself. He has been accumulating power for years, like a pressure vessel. And now, in battle, that pressure threatens to explode. Tohikiro pushes Mob. Mob's emotions rise. But unlike earlier battles, Mob has grown. He tries to keep his emotional state clear. He tries to stop Tohikiro without hatred. Shu confronts his father too. He tries to stop him. Tohikiro nearly kills him. Shu's body is destroyed by the impact of his father's power. It is a horrifying moment. Mob sees Shu fall. Mob does not feel hatred. He feels responsibility. Mob uses his power to protect Shu. He stabilizes him. He keeps him alive. And this act becomes a mirror. Mob, the boy who feared his power, is now using it as a shield. Tohikiro's stored power begins to spiral out of control. He is going to explode. If he does, the city will suffer. Thousands could die. Mob makes a choice. He reaches into Tohikiro's energy and absorbs it. He takes the pressure into himself. It is an act of self-sacrifice. He does not do it to win. He does it to prevent catastrophe. Tohikiro is stunned. For the first time, his ideology wavers, because Mob is doing something that makes no sense in a worldview based on domination. Mob is saving others, including his enemy. Mob holds the energy. It becomes too much. Mob's body begins to break under the strain. Then, instead of releasing it as destruction, Mob releases it safely. He disperses it. He neutralizes the disaster. Tohikiro, drained and humbled, is defeated. But Mob does not kill him. Mob does not imprison him with cruelty. Mob offers him a chance to stop. Tohikiro finally faces himself. He realizes that his pursuit of superiority has made him lonely and hollow. He surrenders. He accepts responsibility. Claw collapses. The world domination plan fails. The city is saved. After that, life becomes quieter, at least on the surface. Reigen's office returns to normal. Mob continues training. School life continues. But the story is not finished, because Mob's growth is not only about fighting villains. It is about becoming a whole person. The final season brings a new, strange symbol. A giant broccoli. Earlier in the story, Mob fought a powerful enemy, and his psychic energy, combined with an unknown factor, caused a massive plant to grow. It rises into the sky. People call it the divine tree. It becomes a landmark, and around it, a new cult forms. The cult worships something called Psycho Helmet. They believe a divine being has appeared. They spread pamphlets. They recruit followers. They claim the tree is proof. Mob, who has always avoided being worshipped, is uncomfortable. He wants nothing to do with it. Dimple, however, is tempted. Dimple has always wanted followers. He has always wanted to be worshipped. Now he sees a chance to become what he once dreamed during the LOL cult. At first, Dimple pretends to help Mob investigate. He plays the loyal spirit. But gradually, Dimple becomes absorbed into the Psycho Helmet movement. He takes advantage of the followers. He becomes drunk on influence. Mob confronts the cult. He tries to dissolve it peacefully, but the cult resists. Dimple reveals his true intent. He has positioned himself as the core of Psycho Helmet. He wants Mob to join him. He wants Mob to become the face of the religion. Mob refuses. Dimple becomes furious. He attacks Mob. This fight is tragic because Dimple is not just a random villain. He is the spirit Mob spared. He is the companion who followed them. He has been there in quiet moments. He has watched Mob grow. Mob tries not to hurt him, but Dimple pushes harder. He uses the divine tree's energy. He becomes immense. He traps Mob in a space made of worship and control. Mob's emotions rise, not toward hatred, toward sadness. Mob finally tells Dimple something simple. He says Dimple was never his enemy. He says Dimple was his friend. Those words strike Dimple harder than psychic force, because Dimple has always pretended not to care. But he does. He cares enough to be hurt. Dimple realizes he has been repeating the same mistake. He has been chasing worship because he fears being nothing. And in that fear, he has been willing to control others. Dimple makes a final decision. He chooses Mob over his dream. He sacrifices his power to free Mob. He destroys the divine tree's influence. He vanishes. Mob loses him, and this loss hurts. Mob grieves, but Mob also understands. Dimple's final act was real. It was redemption. After that, the series gives a brief breath of lightness. Tome and the Telepathy Club chase their long-held dream of contacting aliens. They drag Mob along. They go to a remote location. They attempt telepathy. Nothing happens at first. They are disappointed. Then, in a bizarre twist that fits the show's balance of sincerity and absurdity, they actually encounter extraterrestrials. It is strange, almost gentle, and it ends without grand consequence. It simply shows that the world is bigger than anyone imagines. But the final arc is not about aliens. It is about Mob. Mob decides that it is time. He has trained. He has grown. He has made friends. He has faced despair. He has faced villains. He has faced his own emotional storms. Now he wants to confess his feelings to Tsubomi, not as a psychic, not as a hero, as Shijo. He chooses a date. He plans to meet her. He walks through the city, nervous and determined. Then tragedy strikes in the most mundane way. Mob is hit by a car. The impact knocks him unconscious. His body falls, and the pressure inside him breaks. This is where the story reveals its final truth. Mob has always been controlling his emotions. He has always been containing. But containment is not integration. When Mob loses consciousness, the part of him that has been sealed away rises. Percent awakens. This state is not a normal emotional 100%. It is Mob's suppressed self, a force that acts without the gentle moral restraint Mob consciously maintains. Mob stands. His body moves like a puppet, controlled by overwhelming psychic instinct. He begins to walk toward Tsubomi. Nothing will stop him. As he walks, the city is warped. People are thrown aside. Cars flip. Buildings crack. Not because Mob wants to kill, because Mob's power is uncontrolled. Ritsu senses it. He rushes to stop his brother. He tries to talk. He tries to restrain. Mob percent responds by overwhelming him. Ritsu is crushed, but he survives. Teru arrives. He fights with everything he has. He tries to slow Mob down. He cannot. He is thrown aside. Reigen, hearing what is happening, runs. Not with a plan, not with a technique. He runs like a man, trying to reach his child. On the way, Reigen encounters other psychics and allies. Some try to help. Some try to fight. No one can stop percent. Reigen reaches Mob. He sees the destruction. He sees people hurt. He sees Mob walking forward, like a storm in human form. Reigen does not use psychic power. He does not have any. He does not try to attack. He talks. Reigen speaks to Mob as Shija. He tells him to stop. He tells him he has done enough. He tells him that running toward Tsubomi, while unconscious, is not a confession. It is an escape. Mob percent does not respond at first, because it is not listening to logic. It is the embodiment of everything Mob suppressed. So Reigen does something even more important. He apologizes. He admits he used Mob. He admits he depended on him. He admits he was selfish. Reigen tells Mob that it is okay to be angry. It is okay to be hurt. It is okay to be disappointed. Mob does not have to lock those feelings away. Then Reigen says something that breaks through. He tells Mob that Mob's power is not the problem. Mob's power is Mob, a human, a kid, someone who deserves to live without fear of himself. Mob's suppressed self begins to crack. The percent state confronts the conscious Mob within. We finally understand what percent represents. It is not a demon. It is not a different person. It is Mob's own emotions, sealed away so tightly that they became a separate force. Mob, in his inner world, faces himself. He acknowledges the pain, the fear, the loneliness, the anger, the embarrassment, the love, and instead of rejecting those emotions, Mob accepts them. He integrates. The storm stops. Mob's power calms. He collapses. The city is damaged. People are shaken, but Mob is alive, and Mob is finally whole. Then comes the quiet ending. Mob reaches Tsubomi. He confesses. He tells her he has liked her for a long time. Tsubomi listens. She does not react with cruelty, but she does not return his feelings. She tells him she cannot. She has changed. She has her own life. She does not want to pretend. Mob is hurt, But he does not break. He does not collapse into despair. He accepts it. And this is the true victory. Not getting the girl, not winning a fight. Mob can feel disappointment and survive. He can feel sadness and remain himself. He can be rejected and still know his worth. Later, Mob walks home. He meets his friends. He continues training. He continues living. Reigen returns to his office. He is still dramatic. He still exaggerates. But he is also more honest. He is no longer hiding behind Mob the same way. Ritsu continues to grow, now understanding that power is not a prize. Teru continues his own path, humbled and stronger. Tome continues chasing impossible dreams. The Body Improvement Club continues cheering. Mob's life ends where it began, with a boy who looks ordinary, a boy who wants to be better. But now the difference is clear. Mob does not fear his emotions as an enemy. He accepts them as part of being human. And that is why Mob Psycho 100 is not just a story about psychic power. It is a story about growing up. It is a story about choosing kindness. It is a story about learning that strength is not domination. Strength is living with yourself, honestly,